Hey guys, Tom Altvater, your Maryland Realtor. I wanted to show you real quick what we just did for an investor client of ours. Now, this investor had a lot of cash that they had sitting around. The banks are only going to give you, if you're lucky, 3%. Most banks are going to give you way less than that. There's not many places where you can get a decent return on your cash investment. So if you have money just laying around, you need something to do with it, you can do like this investor did here. So she bought this house. She had a sale price of $285,000. Our purchase costs, which include, closing costs, and we had to give a little bit up to the seller. We did that in order to beat out, I believe it was 5 or 7 other higher priced offers by giving the seller a little bit of cash during the transaction to get us to win out. And this property, we looked at several of them and decided that this one was the best one because it had very little rehab costs, as you can see, less than $4,000. So this investor was in for this property for $301,000, just under $302,000. And the ARV after repair value on this property was actually $310,000. So it was actually a good deal no matter what. But what I want to show you here is the buy and hold projections. Now, this client anticipates keeping this property for many, many years. And we worked up a deal flow through an app I use. It's called Deal Check. You can check it out at dealcheck.com. But you put in the information and it spits out all these numbers, which is great. So her first year, if she were to hold the property for just 1 year, she'd have a gross rent of $2,500. Just under $2,600. There's a vacancy rate that we put in at about 2%. Now, that's averaged over multiple years. In this neighborhood, it's very renter friendly. So we don't have a lot of trouble turning over a rental. This is actually the second property in this neighborhood she's owned. So she knows it quite well. But then you calculate it to your property taxes, your basic operating expenses, which comes down to $6,300. Minus those from your income, get your net operating income of $18,000. And then this calculates her post-tax cash flow of $15,000. Now, if she were, and it also does your depreciation. I'm not an accountant. Don't ask me how that works. But if she were to hold on to the house for just 1 year, she would earn an estimated $14,000. But what we look at is the long-term projections. So after year 5, her total profit is $131,000, and actually after 10 years, $293,000. That's a 97.2% return on investment. You're not going to get that putting your money in the bank account. You're not going to get that putting your money in a savings account, a CD, or anything of the nature. And as you can see here, her yearly cash on return 6.3, 6.4, 6.5. Every year she's making above 6% on cash on her money. So, if you have money sitting around that you don't know what to do with, this is a perfect place to put your money, provided you're going to keep it for long term. Now, you might say, okay, well, what if I don't want to keep my money in there for, 10 years, 20 years? Well, she can actually refinance this property after 6 months. And we did that work up here where she's going to refinance. And she's not doing this, but this is just an example. If she refinances after 6 months, and then we scroll down to the returns, if she were to sell after the first year, she's actually going to lose money. But again, going to the 10-year, she's going to make $156,000. Now, that's a far cry from the $293,000 she would have made off if she kept it totally cash. But that's still a good rate of return. But you see here, the return on investment is much higher. Here she's at 177%, where return on investment, if she's kept it solely cash, is 97.2. That's because when you refinance, you're not fully cash invested. You can see here that her total cash invested was $88,000 versus, excuse me, let me go back, because she financed $214,000 worth of the deal. So her cash invested is a lot less. So if at any point she decides she needs some of that cash that she invested in the property, she can certainly refinance out. When you refinance an investment property, you're going to be paying more on your interest. So your cash flow is not going to be as great here. You see, it's only, you know, $2,000 the first year. That's the entire year versus 14,000 she was making the first year. Excuse me, the cash flow was 18,000, almost 19,000 the first year. So it just depends on what your goals are. If you have any questions about how to invest in real estate, you want any information, certainly let me know. Appreciate it.